As soon as you give your life to Christ, the enemy is going to make himself known. We are not promised health or wealth or wisdom when we become a Christian. And I think Ezra chapter 4 is a perfect example of this. We see some opposition when they are building the temple. And these adversaries, they're slimy. Let me explain. So, when the enemies of Judah and Benjamin heard that the returned exiles were building a temple for the Lord, the God of Israel, they approached Zerubbabel and the family heads and said to them, "Let us build with you, for we worship your God and have been sacrificing to him since the time King Esarhaddon of Assyria brought us here." Do we think they're telling the truth? I'll wait. Now, Zerubbabel, y'all know I cannot pronounce these names. Him and the other heads of the family, they were like, "No thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. You may have no part with us in building a house for our God, since we alone will build it for the Lord." And they were like, "Well, if you're not going to let us in, then we're just going to discourage you." Does that not sound familiar? So they decide to write a letter. They wrote of accusations against the residents of Judah and Jerusalem. And here's the kicker. Here's the thing. They were true. And again, is this not so familiar? This is what my commentary said, so this is what I wrote down. Their attack by letter was a skillful combination of truth and lies. It was true that Jerusalem had a sinful past, yet with these returned exiles, it truly was the past and not the present. They were forgiven. The enemy does the same thing for us. He attacks us with a combination of truth and lies. It is usually of our great sin, which is true. We will fall short, and we have failed, and we have sinned. But the enemy always leaves out the work of Jesus on the cross. You're not good enough. You're too far gone. That sin can't be forgiven. No one will forgive you. God doesn't want you. God doesn't love you. Those are all lies. And the enemy knows it. And if we let these lies sit, then we sit and do nothing for the kingdom of God. And I don't want to be on good terms with the enemy. Don't forget his work on the cross.